Well, welcome everybody. We are here for another episode of Clarity TV, where we talk with experts, which are actually people just like you and I, and they have figured out their life, their work, and they have found their clarity, or a little bit, a sliver of it for this moment, because we know that clarity, we can never hold it, and they share their journey with us. So today we're welcoming Julie Reisler. How do you say it again?
Reisler, you got it.
So Julie is life designer, TV and podcast host. She's also a multiple TEDx speaker, an author and speaker, and she's just sunshine. So welcome, Julie.
Thank you so much, Dolores. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm honored.
So let me ask you a question. Tell me about a project or an experience or something in your life that kind of became a before and after.
Oh my gosh, how much time do we have?
2 minutes now.
2 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I would actually say the business that I started over 5 years ago, I started to feel I was working in a 9-to-5 corporate job, a really good job. I always say could be cushy corporate day job, benefits, and nothing was wrong, but I didn't feel that sense of fire in my belly about it. And after about 2 years of kind of really sitting with it and starting to build my own website and just pondering, what am I going to do? I decided to take the huge leap. And I was a single parent at the time. It was really for most people, although supportive, were kind of wow, what are you doing? And I thought,
what are you doing?
Yeah, are you sure? I mean, I had a lot of support, but at the same time, I think underneath they were this may not be the best idea, but I knew intuitively, and I knew this is what was right for me. And this idea, this desire came out of, I think, a lot of years, 11 years at a job that I liked, but I didn't love. There are other things about it, being compensated differently as a female versus the males there, which is a whole other conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great learning. So I got, I know this is a lot about clarity. I got a lot of clarity from the things that I liked and didn't like. And it really helped me as I started my business. And so 5+ years now in, I've continued to iterate, oh my gosh, all the time. I'm about to do a whole new shift again. And I've gotten really good at, you get clarity and then things change, and get more clarity and things change, and just learning to move with what feels right and what seems right.
And thank you for sharing that. So there's a couple of things that I want to highlight that you just said. One is we get clarity for the things we love to do, and we also get a lot of clarity when we are not loving what we do, or when we have you want a roadblock or a challenge, right? That is a great opportunity to understand if something doesn't sit well with you, or is something that is really not, you don't want it in your life. There's no better clarity than that. All you need to do is I no longer want that in my life, and you do whatever you need to do to not welcome that in your life again. And the other thing you said is that 5 years into your business, you obviously are making it. You obviously are paying your bills. You have probably a roof over your head. I don't see snow or rain coming down.
Yep.
And the truth is that, do you have all the answers? Do you have all your clarity? Heck no. You have it to the extent that you can do what you're doing right now, right? It's a path that continues to reveal as we walk it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think I actually just got a quote this morning. I do a lot of inspirational reading and listening to podcasts and books, and it was actually about, to remember that the contrast and those things that happen that you don't like are very, very important and are necessary, because it gives you an understanding of what you do like and what you do want. And I do believe the moment that I get clarity or get a reminder of what I don't want and what I really do want, the way that I believe it works is that, it's my job then to listen and get into that, that flow, that alignment, so I can allow it to happen. But that is, we're meant to be fulfilling what we desire. I think we're built that way. It's just getting out of fear and doubt, which, by the way, is a daily practice for me.
For all of us.
Oh yeah.
So daily practice, what has always been with you? for many, when I always ask the same question, by the way, in Clarity TV, and it's usually however you navigated that moment in your life, it's usually powered by something that consciously or unconsciously has always been with you. And I already heard part of it is like your intuition, or your knowing that there was something better. So tell me about that common denominator tool or side of you that is always has your back.
I love it. Great question. For me, I think I spent a lot of my time in life, and this is where I learned to tune into my intuition. I used a lot of my time tuning out and not wanting to listen to it. I have discovered, like many of us, that I am, like many of us, an empath, which means I'm very, very, very in tune and attuned to energy and to people's energy and to my own and to those around me. And so ways that I blocked that, it's very common to use addiction. So my addiction was all around the area of food. I used to hate it because you have to eat 3 times a day. If you're an alcoholic, you stop drinking. I have family that are into alcohol, I have family into food, I have family into both. I got the food. I could take or leave a drink. I don't care about alcohol, but food and sugar was really a way to block myself from feeling and from dealing with these emotions. And there's actually research on that. And I highly recommend, if you get into, the empath world and learning about it, there's books on it. So when I stopped, I went and got really like support and help about 17 years ago. And I stopped using food. I started to really like feel life. And what happened was life became kind of like in color. It went from black and white or gray to color. And so I would have emotions that literally everything from like incredible joy to doubt and worry and sadness. And I was like, how the heck do I handle this? And learning to move through those feelings and just feel the support of, I think of it as my kind of my divine team, my higher self, something beyond myself. I really think my spiritual connection, my listening to my intuition, my gut, my heart, those practices now, I always say my whole business, my life is fueled by my intuition, whereas before my life was fueled by my brain. And so our minds are important. However, when you start to understand the way it's designed, our mind is, our brain is a polar organ. It's going to have yes, no, right, wrong. It's different when you start tuning into the wisdom in your heart or that gut feeling, which is a softer, smaller, stiller voice. And I've spent a lot of time learning to listen to that. So I think that, and I have a lot of energy and passion. I'm a fire sign. And I think wanting to help people and make a difference. I'm one of those people, when I go through something challenging, I like to turn around, and whatever I learn from it, I really love to teach it and help others. I don't like people to go through things alone. I don't go through life alone. So
I love that. So I love that you said, what I heard is that your intuition is your kind of driving force and the common denominator that always is there when everything else fails, but that through addiction, and we all have our own version of it, right? And it comes in all kinds of colors. So if you are listening to this recording and you're asking yourself, well, I don't have any addiction, ask again. Think about something that you do that it's hard to stop. It could be TV, it could be shopping, it could be gambling, it could be Facebook, it could be anything that actually, that's a go-to place that you go when you're starting to feel something. Because the truth is, the one thing that we all do is we go get noise when the feeling comes. And what I'm hearing, Julie, is that it wasn't until you started getting quiet or giving space to whatever you were feeling, instead of running away from it with whatever method, that's life started to become in color. And I like how you use those words. So, and then that you discovered how much you love to serve, right? So let's talk about your work.
Yeah.
What is at the core of the work that you do?
Yeah. Can I add one really quick thing before I do that? Because I think one thing you said, I want to just say this for those listening that struggle with getting still. I want to say that was one of the most challenging things for me. It literally felt like, if you had a car in San Francisco on a hill that just lost control and started going down the hill, I literally felt like to be still was like stopping a car on a hill like that. It was really, really hard for me. The fact that I can be still and breathe and meditate and journal and all that today, I mean, it's practice. So I just wanted to say that, like, it's taken time. And I do think that there's a lot of, that's where the wisdom and the treasure is. And so, a lot of what I do today, to answer your question, I have a podcast, book, speaking, do a lot of coaching, community that I've been building. The underlying piece is, look, my life changed when I started to tune into my intuition. I just interviewed and spoke with a world-renowned psychic medium who was basically saying, you don't need a psychic medium. We all have this ability to connect with our higher self, with whatever you want to call it, higher power, God, team of light. We have that. And I am very, very passionate about helping, especially women entrepreneurs, but I've worked with men too, to learn how to tune into that and how to use that as a superpower, and how to kind of shift gears and do life from that place of trusting it, observing it, using it. And so I do that in many different ways. I lead retreats, I've coaching, inner circles. I work with one-on-one. I work with companies. I just think it's a superpower that's free, that's with us, that I can tell you has changed the course of my life for the better.
So let me ask you this. Can you tell us, because I love, and you know how I do a lot of coaching in speaking and stuff. And, one of the things I find is nothing says more about your work than showing us. So tell us about that client or one client that came looking like this or feeling like this or doing this.
Yeah.
And what came out after you sprinkle your magic?
Yeah. Well, and I'll say, yes, the magic I bring, the gifts I have, of course, in this lifetime, and the willingness and openness. Because the way I look at it is,
you just turn them on.
Yeah, you got the magic. I mean, I look at like, you all got the magic in you. I'm just going to help you like dig it out. I mean, really, I really do believe that. So I've got a lot of examples. I'm trying to think. I think a really good one this is probably a good one, that a recent client that I worked with, I'm laughing because if she listens, she'll know who she is. She's in the Chicago area. She's a very successful entrepreneur and mom, 3 kids. And she immigrated here, I think when she was about 9 or 10, did not know the language. So you could probably, Dolores, relate, like, didn't come from Argentina, but like literally had to learn English, knew nothing, and has built up an incredible business in the real estate kind of in that world. And when I met her, it was a really lovely high-end retreat for women. I met her and just loved her. And one of the things I heard her say was she just felt like her inner light was not on. She felt like she was going through the motions by the way it looked, like she should feel happy and peaceful and at ease, but she didn't. Successful children, good marriage, but something didn't feel connected. And that for me, I love this type of person because I want to be serving those that are going to be serving a lot of people. And she impacts a lot of people in a positive way. So we work together on really learning to listen to her inner wisdom, her intuition, her heart intelligence. And all I can tell you is, I mean, without getting into the whole, we worked together for about 3.5 months, and she did like a full 180. Somebody who's very we talked about it, she's very logical, very left brain. So, one of the first things I did was asked her questions like, questions that asked about tuning into, like, what is it she feels like, maybe what's a color that would feel like healing or helpful for her. And it's funny, that one question, and I don't remember how I asked it, it like unlocked the gate for her. I remember she said, "Oh my God, I need yellow." I'm really paraphrasing, but she realized there were so many things missing, but yellow signified joy. And she started buying herself yellow flowers. She started getting yellow accessories. And then she started realizing I'm worthy of time and energy. And she started reflecting and meditating and journaling. And we worked together. And the next thing you know, I mean, she changed her entire well-being plan. She ran an Iron Woman. She and her husband are doing incredible, like, traveling and work together. She changed her schedule around her children. She said, I feel like I have my energy back, and I feel like I'm connected to me again. And I'm like, exactly. Now. And the goal is, for me, it's always, yeah, let's stay connected, but like, it's about you then going out in the world and taking that and then sharing that with others. And she just got unleashed, free. And the cool thing is, when you realize you're worthy and you have that wisdom within, it's always with you. It's free. And so,
I, I love what you're saying, and there's so many layers to this. But a couple of things here is that personal joy and well-being is not granted. If you are listening to this and you're doing great in your life, the question that I think you would ask is like, are you feeling it? Do you feel your own life?
Yeah.
Because we live in a world, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business and doing great, there's moments where everything looks great,
yeah,
might not feel great inside. And so that's when you need to have that gentle hand and the gentle person in your life to help you bring your magic back out. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So let me ask you, so this is all about life design, right? Like really, what kind of life do you want to be living? So what are some myths in designing your life that you've bumped into?
Yeah, actually, so the myths that I see and I grapple with myself, is this idea that somehow, it's when doubt creeps in. It's when you get the big dream or desire and you think, well, who am I? I don't know. I don't know how to do that, or I can't do that, or I haven't done that yet. Or, I see that as one of the most challenging, insidious weeds that can go into your soil where you're trying to plant something beautiful and new. And I think the myth that that you're going to be selfish if you take care of yourself and love yourself, that that it only happens for some people, that you can't, I'm not saying you can have it all at all times, but I do believe we are naturally meant to be abundant and prosperous. We are supposed to go through challenging times because that's how you learn and how you figure out what you like and don't like. But this myth that you need to go outside to get it, I guess for me, my main lesson is everything, the treasure that you're seeking is literally within. It just needs some attention and time and stillness and getting that, some call it feminine and masculine energy. We have a society that has overt masculine energy. Now, you need both. And I'm really good at the masculine. And I think most people listening and people that I tend to attract are like high achievers, right? We're type A doers. Okay, I got that down. I mean, really, like I got sick over that because I did not take care of myself. However, there's another side to that of being still, of receiving, of connecting, of letting go, of surrender. And I think the myth that you have to work hard and push hard is just, it's not true, and it's not found there. And it is very counterculture, and I think somewhat counterintuitive. Yet once you start to feel the taste of like, oh my God, it feels really good to take some time and just to be and to surrender. I mean, I've redesigned my entire way I do my business and my life, which frankly, sometimes, especially in the beginning, was scary because it's really saying I've got more faith in something I cannot see, I cannot touch, and I cannot smell that is going to help me to make a big impact. Then I have more faith in that.
And all my planning could have.
And my plan in there. So yeah, I think the myth of that you have to push, you have to work so hard. I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's the only way. And I actually think, I think that it can be way, way easier and way more enjoyable and way more of a place of learning to let go and ease into, the surrender, the peace. And I'll tell you what, it's why I teach it, because I have to work on that every day.
I love it. Yes. And I think I see it's a dance, right? It's just allowing that.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it, it's one is the go getting and the other one is the receiving. Yeah. And we tend to go in go get mode and we never receive. And then we run on empty. So what are you excited about in the coming up year?
Yeah. I am actually super excited. I'm going to be starting I have a community, but really a delicious community that not just with membership, but like I want to, and I already have some incredible, I call them my spiritual entrepreneurs that are ready to turn on their inner light, and where we can share that, the evidence of that, and the manifestations and abundance, where I've decided to come out of my spiritual closet and to do a lot more with intuition and heart connection, and just to have a community that really, where you can go and share what you're noticing and seeing and observing, what you're manifesting, what's happening that's good in your life, and where you get connection and collaboration, people celebrating you. And then I, continue to do events and retreats and really just wonderful collaborative opportunities for women to really connect in a deep, deep, real level. That's important to me.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we are building the Clarity TV library. So what is one book we must all read?
Okay, I just finished it.
Okay.
The Surrender Experiment by Michael.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Thank you.
The Untethered Soul and the Surrender Experiment, both of them. Here's another.
Surrender Experiment.
Yeah, the next one I would say is Letting Go by Dr. David Hawkins.
Okay.
That, mind-blowing.
Letting Go? Okay.
No, by Dr. David Hawkins, yeah. He's got Power versus Force, but I would say Letting Go encompasses that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Letting Go. I love it, love it, love it. And so before we wrap up, anything else you want to share? And then we're going to ask you where we can find you, but anything else you want to share?
I think the only thing I would just share is, I am a stand for every single one, male, female, whoever you are, whatever you identify as, that understanding that if you have a desire, there's something that you are feeling or seeing that you want to do or be in this world, to please to honor it, because I take that as, for me, that is a sacred, a divine inspiration that is wanting to be expressed through you. And so please, handle it with care, like you would a baby. Find people like you, Dolores, or me, or people that can support you, and good friends. Watch your mind, because you don't want to lose that beautiful desire. It's meant to be expressed through you as you, and to know that your gut feelings, that instinct, that voice, however you sense it, feel it, see it, hear it, there is validity to that you're meant to have that kind of connection and to embrace it and nurture it. Mm-hmm. I do think our world can change significantly as we all tune into that more. I think it could be a very different place in a very positive way. So
love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So where can we find you?
Very easy. Yeah, very easy. I would say, my website is my name. It's Julie Reisler, which is Reisler. And you can find me Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Julie Reisler.
I'm going to put all her info on anyway. But
yeah. The only other thing I would say is, if you're into meditation, there's a free app called Insight Timer, and I have about 15 meditations and courses on there.
Oh, Insight Timer.
Insight Timer, it's free. I think the courses are like $5. I have one on food addiction, how to end that, and then self-love and things like that. So I would love to hear from whoever is moved by this interview, and thrilled to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Julie, for taking time and chatting with our listeners, and for willing to explore the journey of tapping in after you tapped out for so long, and how the intuition is really what brings you your clarity. So thank you.
Thank you.